All right, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to an impromptu hour or so of Q&A here on my stream on DSPGaming. We beat Super Mario Brothers 2 early, which I figured we would, and now we basically just have some time to kill. We start off with a question from Bitch Nips. What a nice name. Who tipped $1.50 asking, why am I not playing Fable next week? Tomorrow is 2 new releases, Stray and As Dusk Falls. I'm playing them 2 straight days. I'm off on Thursday. On Friday, I'm balancing those with my usually Friday night fighting games. So the next time that I have a chance to play Fable is Saturday, and I'm doing it on Saturday night. There you go. That's why, because there's 2 new releases that take high priority over some old playthrough of a game I played 8 years ago. Okay. Oh, do I think doing Q&As diminishes Ask the King? No. When we do Ask the King, those are fully fledged questions you guys ask me ahead of time. I think about my question or answers. I get more fleshed out answers. There's priority for certain people to ask their questions and get them answered at a higher percentile because if you're a member or whatever, there's other things. It's basically a completely different show. This is me on the fly answering quick questions. Not, well thought out long answers to questions. You see, it's very different. Why do new games come out in waves? Because of sales numbers and because of their way that they report their financial results, which is incredibly stupid, asinine, and outdated. For some reason, they try to cram all their games into certain quarters of the year to get on the books for a certain sales quarter. And of course, a lot of game companies want to get their games out around Christmas because they feel that inflates sales as people buy them as gifts. But it's really dumb. There's no reason for there not to be more games during the summertime. Case in point, 2 years ago, we had Ghost of Tsushima during the summer when normally new games don't come out that are of any kind of AAA caliber, and it ended up being one of the best-selling games of the year. So they should have learned from that. They did not, and now there's almost no new games in the summer anymore, again. What's the most memorable game I love my audience hated? I think for most of the time I resonate with the audience. Most of the time. Usually it's JRPGs that I really like, and sometimes the audience doesn't like. The thing is, I always still have an audience. It's just a smaller one. So I'll give you an example. Dragon Quest XI, maybe 200 people watched me play the whole game. But it was an amazing playthrough. Super fun, great interaction. I loved it. It was one of my favorite games of that year, you see. But I did have people come and watch me play it. It just was a very small group as opposed to, say, my mainstream audience of anywhere from 300 to 500 people on a good stream of a big hype game. Sometimes I get upwards of 1,000 viewers. Same thing with the YouTube audience. On a hot game, you get anywhere from like 5,000 to 20,000 views on a video. While for a game that's not so popular, I can barely crack 1,000 sometimes. So it depends on the playthrough, you know? Okay. Is God of War Ragnarok releasing too soon? Will there be any delays? The game's been in development for how many years? 4? No. I think it's fine. I think it'll be fine. I'm not too worried about it. What's the best Mario Kart game? See, I really love Mario Kart, the original on SNES, but my God, it is such an outdated game now. It looks terrible. It controls terribly. It's so simple. There's not even proper power slides in it. So, man, I would probably go with, obviously Mario Kart on Nintendo 64 was the one that added the power sliding. But that's really all the game is power sliding and abusing the power slides. This is a tough question because everyone kind of adds a new gameplay mechanic to it that makes it kind of fun. Likely it would be down to the maps then, but the thing is I can't answer based on that. I haven't played Mario Kart in so long. I don't even remember, which version of Mario Kart had which maps in it or anything. So I think I can't even give a very intelligent answer. Sadly. Am I done reacting to conferences? What conferences are there to react to? We reacted to the big ones, right? Unless you mean next year, in which case we'll see then. I'm not sure. I would not want to own a life-size statue of any character in any game. No, I'm probably not getting the Sega Mega Drive 2 or Genesis 2 Mini because, number one, it's way less available than the Genesis Mini. The Genesis Mini was more readily available. And number two, it doesn't look like the games on it I'm too interested in, quite frankly. I think most of the classics on Genesis that I wanted to play were on the original Genesis Mini. Okay. I'm actually not listening to any music during my walking sessions. Usually I'm listening to a video or something. I actually, when I was testing like the Rob Gavigan videos for the React event, I was listening to those when I walked. I told you guys that on a whim, I watched a Nostalgia Critic video the other day. That's what I was doing. I was listening to it as I was walking to see what they were today, and that's when I found out he has horrible ad placement in his videos now. I was like, oh my god. But I have not listened to any active music. I have listened to some relaxing music, like relaxing SNES music and relaxing NES music and stuff like that. You can find interesting playlists of those on YouTube and listen to stuff like that. My rat has rabies. Tip me $1.50. He says, I feel when old people say that they don't know what dial-up is or a pager was or what phone book is. Oh, wait. You feel old when people say they don't know what dial-up is, what a pager was, or what a phone book is. Oh, of course. Yeah, it's funny because you ask me, I'm 40 years old, right? You say, Phil, what's classic gaming to you? Classic gaming to me is playing games on my old Atari 7800, my NES, and my Super NES. Like, those are the formative years of gaming for me. That's what I think about. Or I think, like, classic arcade games would have been anything like Pac-Man, Centipede, you know, those kind of games from the 80s. You ask a modern person, right? A modern person, hey, what's a classic game to you? And they're like, Half-Life 2, Fable, Halo 2. Oh, classic. Yeah, very classic. Then I guess I feel old when they say that to me. And then I immediately cry into my pillow for several hours. Okay. Okay. If you would like to ask me a question, you can tag me in the chat, or if you contribute in any way, I'm going to give you a shout out regardless. So, what was for dinner tonight? We had quarter-pound turkey burgers on sesame buns with lettuce and tomato. I had some pickles on mine. My wife doesn't really like pickles that much, but I had some pickles, chips on mine. A little bit of mayo, ketchup, mustard. Seasoned with a slice of melted cheddar cheese on top. And on the side, we had baked onion rings, Nathan's brand, the ones you're frozen in the freezer at the grocery store. You bake them in your oven. Oh, it was absolutely delicious. Absolutely. Oh, it hits the spot. It fills your stomach with delicious protein, the flavor, mouth-watering, juicy, the condiments, with the crunchiness of the vegetables. Oh, those onion rings are so sweet and delicious. Okay, I'm going to stop right now. I'm going to stop. Would I ever play through Shadow the Hedgehog someday? Yes, if people wanted me to. If it was available somewhere. I don't know how I'd play it. Will I ever update my Switch Online membership for a month to explore N64 games? Funny enough, you guys have not even asked me to play a single one of those. Since that became available and all those games are on there, and you guys know if I had that subscription, I could play them. It's never even come up, so until there's demand, there's no reason for me to lay down the money for it. That's for sure. What were my best years as a content creator? The thing is, I have changed so much as a content creator over the years. Like, I feel like what I do today is not the same job I used to do. And the truth is, I like my job today way more than what I used to do. Even though you can argue, oh, well, back then, you were way more popular. You had way more views. You were making all this money, and it was all based on ad revenue. You didn't have to worry about contributions on a stream every night. Like, that was some big concern. And you basically had, like, freedom because you were making so much money and getting so much views. You could go to trips and things. I mean, you're absolutely right. But those years, I was an absolute workaholic. Like, I had no free time for family or friends. Outside of one day a week, I went to dinner with my parents. And maybe around Christmas, I visited them. And outside of that, once a week, my friend John Rambo came over. We did co-op together. And then what we would do is every once in a while go to a convention. And what would I do the whole time I was at the convention? Vlog everything. So literally everything I did at that time in my life was for YouTube. And although I don't really regret it, I can definitely look back now and be like, damn, that really honestly was not a super like great time of my life. That was the time when at some points I was drinking too much. I was getting kind of depressed because everything was about work, upload, YouTube. Which is not good at all, right? I had no, basically my problem was I had no work-life balance. It was all work. Work was my life. See? Today's different. Today, I'm less popular. I do have financial concerns, but at the very same time, I have a work-life balance. I have a separation. I have a personal life with my wife and my cat. And we have a great family here and a nice place that we live, and I separate that from here. I have a better life today than I did 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I feel like my life today is just better. The content I put out today is better. The interactiveness of this content. It's not about cheap jokes and stupid one-liners and insulting game devs and saying sexualized, dumb, racial jokes and shit. It's just fun. I get to be myself. You know what I mean? I like being myself. And I'm having to act like an over-the-top character like I used to have to. So, you said, what are the best years? I feel like they're still coming. I feel like the best years of my content creation are in the future. That this channel has grown in the last year. It'll build even more. I'll diversify my content and do different kinds of content. I feel like the best is yet to come, to be honest. King Sir Ahem tipped me $5 and says, with God of War Ragnarok coming out later in the year, would you be interested in playing the original God of War 2 on PS Premium, or do you feel that it would be too much God of War in such a short period of time between now and then? Well, I'm not opposed to playing God of War 2, and in fact, we already tested it on the PS Plus Premium streaming service, and it seemed like it was decent. It wasn't amazing, and it definitely had some pixelization, a little bit of fuzziness in the graphics, and possibly a little bit of input delay, but it was still playable, so I think that if you guys wanted me to do it, I could do it as a playthrough. However, we just did a viewer's choice event, and really it didn't come up as a thing that people wanted to see, so I would be surprised if maybe people asked for it at this point. I think that we've moved past the original God of War trilogy, which is very different from the modern God of War games, and people aren't really associating the two that much, so therefore I don't think there's much demand to see me play the one that I never played before. Thank you for the tip. Spawn Killer tipped me $1.50. Says, I remember when we had dial-up booted on internet for trying to use the phone. That's right. Whenever you try to use dial-up internet, you'd be connected. Someone would pick up the phone. It would make all these weird noises. And if you hang up the phone line, it would kick you off the internet. That's how it used to work. Wario2255 tipped $1.50. Says, would you play through the Shantae games or Metal Slug? Maybe, maybe. Again, I'm down for that. Metal Slug I played at least the first 3, if not 4, in arcades. They were great arcade games that I used to play, along with everything else that I used to play. So it's a possibility. As for Shantae games, I've never played them before, and I know hasn't Shantae games been out for like 20 years or something like that. So I would consider that someday. By the way, did Mr. Papavera? He did. Oh, I already read that out. Yes, I already read that. I already read out Mr. Papavera's super chat. I want to make sure I didn't miss it. Okay. Malcolm wants to know what was my favorite Atari game, and I can't say E.T. I wouldn't say E.T. anyway. I had E.T. See, the thing is, there were games that I like. Dig Dug, Jungle Hunt, Joust. But the one that I like the most is basically the one I played with my dad, Ball Blazer. That was the only video game I ever played with my dad. I'm not kidding. All the years that I've been a gamer, my whole fucking life I've been a gamer, he would play with me with the action figures. We would go outside and do sports. But when it came to video games, he literally didn't have interest. He just never cared about video games. And Ball Blazer was the one game we played together. He would come home from work, and the first thing we would do, he would come in and see me, and we would sit down and play maybe like a half an hour, 45 minutes of Ball Blazer with each other until dinner was ready. And then we would eat dinner together, and then after that, he was off to do his thing. I was off to do my homework and stuff like that. So, yeah, that was neat to be able to play Ball Blazer with my dad. It's a good game. Okay, so there you go. Oh, let's see here. Do I think it would be top 10 in the world at a gaming trivia show? No, absolutely not. There's people who just sit around and study dumb shit like that all day. What are the chances we'll see Arkham Asylum? Very high. I already told you guys, once we get to a point where we need something else as a playthrough, which right now we're going to have new games starting tomorrow, but after those are kind of finishing up and we're looking for new stuff, that's probably the next major thing we're doing. Carlos asked me, am I going to stream the unboxing of my new computer? What new computer? I haven't bought a new computer. We're doing a series of podcasts this week where every morning on the Level 1 podcast, we're talking about different computer components. And I'm trying to learn for myself live on stream with everyone helping me what these computer components are. We're not at the point where I'm ordering and having an unboxing of a computer. We don't even know what the cost yet. Like, some people, I swear to God, are like, they go light years ahead of everything. Like, what on earth? We're not buying a computer yet. Like, just relax. Relax. Okay. No, we're not doing multiplayer with anyone. Someone says, oh, because you're letting things go and you want people to post on your Twitter, you're going to do multiplayer events? No, because I'm not stupid. I'm just not going to waste my time with it because the trolls will ruin it. I'm not dumb. It's a dumb question. Well, I diversify my content on other platforms like Odyssey. No. Right now, I want everyone coming to DSP Gaming knowing this is the source for my content. My streams, my on-demand videos, I need everyone going to one place. By uploading stuff to other places, all it's going to do is create confusion. It's going to have people tour, where do I go? Do I go here? Do I go here? The only reason I would go to Odyssey is if I was moving my content completely, uplifting it from YouTube and going over there and putting everything down there. I would not want to have the same shit on 2 sites and stuff. It causes all kinds of issues. The answer is no. Okay, Wario did another $1.50 tip. Says Shantae 1 came out in 2002, so it is 20 years old. Game Boy Color. If I were to play a Shantae, I would start with Shantae 1 and 2 Genie. Oh no, 1/2 Genie. All Shantae games are on Switch and are cheap. There you go. Sounds interesting. Alright. Ooh. Oh, let's see. Big Me says, will I come out of the closet for the closet stream? Well, you don't want me to stay in there, do you? You want me to stay in there forever? It wouldn't be much of a stream. Well, I move the camera to the closet so you can see. I mean, I could just angle it so you can see. I'm not going to move it from where it is, but I could turn it towards the closet as I go in and out. If you wanted, that's okay. Trust me, there's nothing to hide here. It's a wall. It's a fucking wall with nothing there. Well, I play one of the Railgun Shooter Resident Evil games for PS Plus. Only, again, when you guys ask me, will I play a random game? The answer is always exactly the same. 9 times out of 10, there's no reason I wouldn't. If you guys wanted to see it and there was demand, I would do it. The only reasons I wouldn't play a game is, number one, if it's not viable. There's no way to get it. You can't get it on a modern console. It's not on a network to download and play digitally. If that's the case, then the answer is no. I can't get a physical disc and a physical console that's old and figure out a way to capture from it. I'm not going to bother with that. The other thing would be, if it's a game that maybe I've already just played, why am I going to replay it? If it's a situation where it's a game that I just have no interest in playing, which I've told you there's certain games over the years I just don't care about, like Code Vein, I'm just never going to play it. I don't give a shit. Or Catherine, I don't want to ever replay it. I played it once, I hated it. So there you go. You know, it's pretty self-explanatory. There's nothing complex here. Yes, most games I would play. You don't have to ask me each individual game. The answer is not really going to change from game to game. I never, this is so silly. Someone says, is it okay to do a positive clips channel? There used to be positive clips channels and things about me, and I never told people to stop doing it. They just did. People found more popularity in the negativity than the positivity. So when everyone saw, oh, by making fun of Phil and insulting him, we can get way more views than being positive about Phil, that's literally the bandwagon everyone jumped on. Everyone realized being a toxic, negative scumbag gets you popularity on YouTube, while being positive basically doesn't. But I never said for people, oh, don't make clips and stuff. And that never happened. Why am I defensive about the PC question? I'm not defensive. Here's the thing. 3 days now. 3 days in a row, we've done a podcast in the morning where we talk about PC components. In those 3 days, I've probably had 400 people say, are you buying a PC? When's the PC coming? What's going on? I was like, what are you talking about? Do you not understand what we're doing every day? Like, I'm literally every day trying to learn a little bit about the PC. So when we get to the point where I think I know everything I need, I can sit down and look at price-wise, how much would it cost? What businesses would offer that kind of a pre-built that I can pick and choose the components I want? This is all stuff to look at once you've gotten through that. People, sadly, they start, all right, I'm starting at square one. Oops, now we jump to step 700. You can't do that. You got to go step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. That's what we're doing. We're slowly going. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6. People just want to go right to the end. Oh, the PC's here. You're unboxing it, right? No. We are ways off, man. We're ways off from that. We got ways to go. You got to relax. Take it slow. Okay. I've heard of Okage Shadow King. I've seen the box art and things of it there expand on. I never played it, though. He's recommending it. What happened to the DSP jersey goal? Well, if you remember, very shortly, I said, hey, if you guys aren't interested in the vest, if we hit $150 raised on a stream, I'll put on a football jersey of your choice. That didn't work either. Like, I did it and no one really cared. So then we just went back to the vests, essentially. Guys, if you enjoyed my streams today, I really would appreciate any kind of support you could lend tonight, whether it's just a like on the stream or if you can do more than that, like a membership, a super chat, a super sticker, a tip. It's been a slow day today. It has. Earlier today, Final Fantasy VII, for the first time since I played the game, for some reason, had lower engagement and lower contributions. I don't know why. Up to now, it's been great. And now tonight, as you can see, it's been a pretty slow stream, so it would be great. Any kind of support would be appreciated. Thank you. Jade, that's fine. You can take off early if you want, if you're sleepy. You don't have to even tell me. It's all right. I hope you feel better. What's my best and favorite memory from college? I don't think I have a single one. My first semester, all my roommates just wanted to party. I managed to party my butt off while also getting straight A's. Okay? Then, my dumbass roommate, almost got me kicked out of college for having weed in the room. Wasn't mine. At that point, I wasn't even smoking weed anymore. And then after that, for the rest of my college career, I was commuting, and I basically hated the whole thing. I felt like I was wasting my time. I wanted to work more and or focus on competitive Street Fighter, but my parents were dead set on me getting a college degree, especially because they'd already spent a lot of money on the first year of college. They would not have been too pleased if I dropped out. So basically for me, college is just the thing that I kind of flubbed my way through for the next 3 years and didn't really care about, being honest. Originally I wanted to go for computer programming, and after 2 semesters I realized they have a terrible computer programming program at the college I was at the time, Fairfield University. The teacher was one of the worst I'd ever seen. He didn't know how to teach at all. He knew how to code, and that was it. He didn't even know how to speak to you so you could understand what he was telling you how to do. He was an insanely bad teacher, yet this guy was the head of the fucking computer program at the school, and he was a complete antisocial nerd type, just an idiot. He was like, who the fuck, why would you teach if you don't know? Why are you a teacher if you don't know how to teach? Probably because you can't make enough money coding, so this is a way for you to make extra money, but then everyone in your programs is not learning anything. No one in your class is learning how to code. How the fuck is this your job? So after 2 semesters of that, I switched majors to business, and then I didn't really care anymore. I really don't think I have any kind of positive experience with college. I think it was a complete waste of my time and efforts. Even when I was there, that first semester, when I was there hanging out with my friends kind of partying, I don't even look back fondly on that. I really don't. Let's see. Thanos, tip me $3, says, I've arrived, take this, and join the Black Order. There you go. Thank you, Thanos. Appreciate that. We're now at $22. At $50, I put on Gunner glasses. At $100, I put on a hat. I don't think we're hitting $100 tonight. Just saying. The Fallen has become silver with his membership. Thank you for your ongoing support of the channel, The Fallen. When is my next haircut? I have no idea. That's more dependent on my wife and her work schedule than mine. You know me. I have flexible schedules. Basically been dependent on her when she wants to go and when we can go together. So, okay. Quandale wants to do a World Market DSP Tries It where I try snacks from all around the world rather than a Feasting with the King during the Closet event coming up on July 30th. No, I want to eat a meal. The whole point of Feasting with the King is that I get to eat a meal so I can continue a marathon stream. If I just eat a bunch of crappy snacks, it's not going to be very satisfying, nor is it going to be very nutritional. I want to eat a real meal during the event. Sorry. I don't know what drunk glasses are. Don't know what that means. Was I more interested in Sega Saturn or Dreamcast games? The Saturn was an interesting anomaly in the United States. And the reason I say that is when it came out, almost no one heard about it. And when it came out, it was very expensive for a very limited library of games that were out for it. And then all of a sudden, it basically failed. And within 6 months of it being out, every store had an insane discount. Within 6 months of the Saturn launching in the USA, I went to Toys R Us. when it was still a store. I bought a Sega Saturn and like 2 controllers and like 10 games for like $250. They were liquidating the inventory. They wanted it out of there because no one was buying it. It was a huge failed investment for them. They bought all this product that no one wanted. The reason I really bought the Saturn was because I wanted to play imported fighting games. They actually had imported Marvel vs. Capcom. No, excuse me. It was imported Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter and X-Men vs. Street Fighter. You would buy an extra RAM cartridge. You would plug into the Saturn, and then you could play those games at full arcade quality. It was 60 frames per second, and everything was amazing. It blew you away how good it looked on the Saturn. So that's why I bought that console, and then I ended up buying a few other games like Shining Force 3 and a few others that were quite good. Oh, Guardian Heroes. Oh, man, Guardian Heroes was a superb game back in the day on the Saturn. I loved it. Now, Dreamcast had a more successful launch in the United States. It wasn't like a 6-month failure and then liquidated. But it wasn't, how can I say? By the time the Dreamcast came out, there was so much other competition. The PlayStation 1 was insanely dominant at the time. N64 was kind of middle of the road. Some people liked it, some people didn't. But Dreamcast really struggled to find a place in the market. It had some really good games like Power Stone and the Marvel vs. Capcom games and Crazy Taxi, stuff like that that really was not playable on the other consoles. The other consoles didn't have anything like that. But for some reason, it just didn't make it. It died within about a year and a half, right? It just didn't make it in this very competitive industry for whatever reason. Personally, between the two, Dreamcast was my console of choice. Why? Because you could play all the arcade fighters on it, including Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and Capcom vs. SNK 2. They all had really great conversions on it. The Dreamcast Super Turbo was okay, but not great. It wasn't accurate to the arcade. It was still a decent port, but not amazing. But the other games were almost arcade perfect, and we used Dreamcast, no exaggeration, from the day Dreamcast was released all the way through the time when Street Fighter 4 released. So 2009, people were buying Dreamcast pretty much for fighting games. That was the main use of the Dreamcast, was to play fighting games. They, became collector's items online. Everyone was ordering them on eBay and shit from each other to try to play Street Fighter on them. Let's see here. Tarantula MS 2018 has tipped $10, the biggest tip of the night. He says, I've always been interested in learning about various consoles from over the years. Have you tried any of the other alternative consoles, such as Magnavox Odyssey? No. Commodore 64? No. Neo Geo? Only the arcade version. I never played... Well, I take that back. My friend owned a Neo Geo home system, but I never owned one. It was way too expensive. It was by far, by leaps and bounds, the most expensive home console because it was exactly the same hardware as the arcade machine, only at home. So you're talking you would have to spend like $800 for a fucking Neo Geo console. So as much as I wanted it, I would have loved to play like King of Fighters and shit at home. No, I never had a Neo Geo. Let's see. Intellivision and TurboGrafx. No, I literally didn't have any of those. I mean, I started with Atari 7800, then I went to NES, Super NES, Genesis, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, and then I bought the Saturn for cheap, and then I got, let me think about this, then I got my Dreamcast later. Yeah, and then basically I went on hold. Like, I owned a PS2, but not to play like console PS2 games, but again, mostly fighting games that were on PS2. That was it. I didn't own any of those alternative consoles, no. Nope. Okay. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Woo! Did I have Sonic Jam? That sounds familiar. Sonic Jam. I can't put my finger on it. I had Knuckles Chaotix, which was a 32X game, but I don't remember Sonic Jam. I might have played it, but I don't remember. My biggest regret as a content creator is sharing too much, being too transparent, and putting my personal life mixed in with my public life. I should have had separation. I didn't. And when everything carried over and permeated in, it caused problems. It just, having, my significant other involved in content over the years, piss people off. Me basically going on trips and vlogging the whole thing and basically showing off the whole time. Oh, look what I can afford with the money I make as a YouTuber, yada, yada, yada. People didn't like that. They rubbed them the wrong way. Here I am moving across the country, right, to a house and everything, and people didn't like it. They got pissed off. You know, I should have separated all of that. I should have. I should have had, here's what I do for work. Here's my life. Keep it apart. That's my biggest regret. Because I think all those years of sharing too much led to where we are today, where I have such crazy stalkerish people after me on the internet because they're just obsessed. They probably wouldn't have become obsessed if I didn't share so much back in the day. So. When is Final Fantasy VII again? Sometime over the weekend, Guts. We got new releases for 2 days, then I'm off. Then we got more new releases with fighting games, so probably like Saturday night, Sunday night. Although Saturday night I'm probably doing Fable because I haven't played Fable in a while now. So probably a week, you know. What are you going to do? New releases take priority. Street's promise is not that I'm hesitant to buy new games, that the new games that are coming out just don't interest me. He mentions Three Hopes. He means Fire Emblem Three Hopes. Why the fuck do I want to play Fire Emblem Three Hopes? The first playthrough was way too long. Okay? It got boring halfway through. People, you know, I was like, keep with it, so I stuck with it. People lost interest, got disengaged when I was doing the playthrough because it was too long. We're in a summer where I could play a lot of quick games or quicker games. It's basically an opportunity for bucket list content like Final Fantasy VII. Why the fuck would I play Three Hopes? Seriously. Exactly. Clyde just said it. Oh, God, he wants another 1 year long playthrough? There you go. No, I didn't mix up Fire Emblem Three Houses with Three Hopes. Three Hopes is the new one. That's a Musou game, but it's still insanely lengthy. I talked to someone who had played it and knew all about it. Yeah. Quandale says, I know some content creators would take like a month off and they call it a detox to unwind from the grind that they're in. That would be nice for me to be able to do that. And the answer is no. You know, I can't do that. I wish that I could relax and not have a grind. My wife and I would love to go do stuff together or do things around the house together. I can't. I have to be here as much as possible. You know, I think that will change at some point. Sadly, not right now. Canada #1 to be $20. So what are your favorite nonfiction books that I've read? Oh my God. I couldn't tell you the last time I read a nonfiction book. You know. If you want to ask me what are my favorite fiction books, Michael Crichton used to be one of my favorite authors. I loved the original Jurassic Park and Jurassic World books. I did like some of Dan Brown's stuff. You know, George R.R. Martin's early Game of Thrones books are great. Once you get to like the third one, it gets shitty. But the first two are really good. Lord of the Rings, oh my God, the original Lord of the Rings trilogy is so good to read. His dad would love to reread that. But nonfiction, I don't even know what the last nonfiction book I read was. There's enough things going on in the world that I don't need to read nonfiction books. I listen to the news and I shit myself. Thank you, Canada #1 with that tip. We did hit the tier 1 tips goal of Gunner Glasses. Thank you for that. Have I made my own pizza before and how do I like it? I make my own pizza from some pre-made ingredients. So I'll buy the pre-made Pillsbury dough. I'll buy the sauce. I'll get a bag of the cheese, like the pizza cheese blend that has like Parmesan and Romano and mozzarella mixed together. I'll get herbs and spices. I'll get other toppings. I'll take the dough and put it out on the pan. I'll bake it, take it out, put the toppings on, bake it again. That's how I make my own homemade pizza, but I don't make it from scratch. I've never made one from scratch. And I do think they come out good. Yes. They do come out pretty good. From the one that I make. The ones that I make I think are damn good actually. But they're very different from those store-bought pizzas because the store-bought frozen pizzas are different. They're made by a fucking, you know, some fucking robot, you know, pumping out this crust or whatever, mass producing it. So different. Okay. My favorite Star Wars movie is Empire Strikes Back, just like mostly people. It really is one of the best ones, if not the best one. No, the pizza I make is not authentic Italian. If it were authentic Italian pizza, here's what it would be. A very simple dough, easy hand roll, put it down on a not even like a metal plate, but like a wooden slab. Very rustic, chunky tomato sauce. Some seasonings like fresh basil and parsley and things like that on top. And then actual like maybe medallions of mozzarella or very light cheese. And that's it. That's traditional Italian pizza. No crazy meat. No greasy shit, no weird sauce, nothing. It's very basic and rustic. That's Italian pizza. And then when it came to the United States, they Americanized it to turn it into American-style Italian pizza. And then after that, they just completely Americanized it and bastardized it and turned it into the crappy fast food shit you get now. LeBron Bernstein to the Super Chat saying, congrats on beating Super Mario 2. Thank you. Appreciate the Super Chat. LeBron B. There you go. Thank you. I've never been to Italy, no. I would love to go one day, but I've never been. Mark, I'm sorry to hear about your dad testing positive for COVID. I hope he recovers soon. Did I ever have a kite? I did. I couldn't tell you what it was, but I remember having a kite as a child and flying it at a park with my dad. But I don't remember what the kite was. Nor was the kite very durable. I think it broke, if I remember correctly. Did I ever have a passport? Yes, I did. I've traveled to Canada before for work. But that's expired a very long time ago. No Sleep Real Vibes says, I've never had Chicago or New York style pizza. Which should you experience first? New York. New York is the classic American style pizza you see in movies. The big pieces that have like the oozy, the drippy, stretchy cheese. That's the classic. Chicago pizza is not really pizza. It's a pie. It's essentially a deep dish cheese and meat pie that you cut into a giant thick wedge and you eat it like with fork and knife. It's so thick. There's no way you can really pick it up and eat Chicago pizza. So you got to have the New York pie, man. And by the way, I'm not saying that Chicago's bad. It's good, but it's very different. Would I ever revisit the place in Canada that when I went for work? Probably not. There's nothing there. There was nothing there. It was a small fishing town off of the coast of Newfoundland, and they had a lot of seafood and bars and pubs, and the rig at which the oil was at, and then the base where the helicopter would fly to and from. That was it. Like, there was nothing there. It was very boring. So I would probably not go there again. No. I've never been to Blazes or Pie 5 or Mod Pizza. No, I have not. Have I ever been to Los Angeles, California? Yes, I've been there many times. I first went there with my parents on vacation when I was a child, and we went to Universal Studios Hollywood, and we did the whole Hollywood Walk of Fame down Hollywood Boulevard and all of that. Then later on, I went back there as an adult to attend E3 about a decade ago. And I also did the Hollywood Walk of Fame at that point, but it was mostly just being at E3. So twice I've been there. Wings of Temptation, the super chat saying, I don't mind hustle and grind. It's a lack of results after burning myself out that pisses me off. Okay, I don't know what that means. Sounds like it's a Wings reference or a Wings quote, but I don't know what it's supposed to be about. I'm just going to call you Wings of Tea. Because your name's too long. There you go. By the way, I just realized I forgot to change the colors of everything for Mario tonight. I was supposed to make it like red or something. I left it green from Final Fantasy. Oh well. When I met Donald Trump for work, was I scared, or was he cool back then? No, what happened is I treated him like Santa Claus. I said, "You're not the real Trump," and I ripped his toupee right off his head, and you see he's purely bald under there, and he was so embarrassed he ran away. I never met Donald Trump. What the hell are you talking about? I never met Donald Trump. I don't know where you got that from. Do I believe in true love? Yes, I do. I'm in it right now. So, of course, I believe in it. Mr. Nichols tipped $2. Says, as a patron, can I pledge $50 multiple times in a month if I want you to do 2 parts to a 40-minute long video? So what you're saying, Mr. Nichols, is, let's say you wanted me to do 2 private videos for you. Could you pledge more than once? Or could you pledge more? That's an interesting premise. No one has ever asked me that question before. what I would say is don't do it. You would contact me behind the scenes about what you're interested in, and we could talk it out, because I do not want anyone contributing in a way and then not. I'm not the kind of guy to overpromise and underdeliver. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, just pledge to my Patreon, we'll work out the details later. That's fucked up in my opinion. What we should do is have a conversation behind the scenes first about what it is you're talking about discussing. If we talk about it and agree, oh, this makes sense, then do it. If not, don't. In general, my Q&A, excuse me, my private videos that I make for people on Patreon for the $50 pledge, they're around 20 minutes in length. I've had a few that were a little longer, maybe by 5 or 10 minutes, depending on the subject matter. But it really depends on what we're talking about, because it's not just fair game to do anything, you see. Generally, they were just private Q&A videos, but recently we had things like private react videos and things like that. So email me and we'll talk details. There you go. Did I see Macaulay Culkin in a Home Alone game episode with AVGN? I know about it because you guys told me about it a few years ago. And since then, I've seen, like, frames from it, like them together in a video, like you know, like a freeze frame of the video itself. I haven't actually watched the episode, no. But I know of it because you guys told me about it when it happened years ago. And then I saw pictures of it all over the internet. Okay. Polnish 101 said what Wings of Team meant he doesn't mind putting in time and sacrifice for something he sets his mind to, but when you sacrifice doesn't amount to anything, it pisses him off. No, I understand what he's saying. What I'm saying is I don't know why he was saying that to me. That didn't seem to really have anything to do with me. And considering his name is Wings of Temptation, it sounds like he's talking about something Wings of Redemption said, right? Right? That's what I mean. It went like, whoop, right over my head. I don't know what that's in reference to. Do I think Nintendo is losing gamers by not having a Game Pass service? They do have a Game Pass service. It's called Nintendo Switch Online. They have two of them. They have the base level and they have the N64 level. So I don't know what you mean. They actually have it. It's just different than the other ones, but they have one. Did The Matrix trip me out when I first watched it? I would say it kind of blew my mind a little bit, the idea behind it. Of course, a lot of people back then didn't think about sci-fi shit like that. And all of a sudden you're like, damn, are we living in a Matrix and stuff? It was pretty good at the time. Today you watch it back, it's like, it's not as good. But I think at the time it was a pretty damn good movie. It made you think a little differently about life. Would I play Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver if it came out on PS Plus? The same exact question. Again, I would play whatever if there was demand for it. I say the same answer every time someone asks me this question. There you go. I was talking about Adult Swim on the previous live stream. Did I ever watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Yes, and I owned many of the seasons of it. I just didn't see the last couple of seasons because that show went on forever, then got canceled, then came back, then got canceled, then came back. So I only saw it when it was officially called Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I saw the movie, and then I know they had a season where they were called like Unit Patrol something Squad, which was weird. I saw some of that. That's like really, I never saw past that. So. Who's my favorite YouTuber? Me. I don't have a favorite YouTuber. How am I dealing with the heat wave? We don't have a heat wave here. We don't. We're not having a heat wave. In fact, it cooled down. We had about a week that was really hot, and now it's on the cooler side. We will have a couple hot days coming up in the next week, but there's no heat wave here. So, there you go. I've never seen Bad Boys the movie. No, I have not. Nope. Do I think the implantation of NFTs by GameStop ruins their brand image? I think anyone dealing with NFTs right now, they're getting their brand image ruined, and they're so dumb and ignorant they don't realize it. There's a lot of assholes out there right now that don't actually realize this. They think that NFTs are somehow going to benefit them when it's literally doing the opposite. They're that stupid. They can't figure it out. Streets Promise, you don't have... I have no idea what you're talking about, and you don't even know what you're talking about, so I'm just going to ignore you. Yes, I saw Rush Hour with Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. It was funny at the time. I haven't seen it in many years, but it was very funny at the time when it came out. I don't have a favorite James Bond movie. I've only seen James Bond movies at most once or twice each. I was never a huge fan of Bond. At one point, I bought the movie collection, and I watched like 4 of them. So that's what I mean. Like, I've never really got into James Bond that much. What's my favorite Indiana Jones movie? They're all good. The original trilogy is all good. I don't like Crystal Skull. I thought it was insanely bad. I like all 3 of the original movies for various different reasons. Should Namco make a Tekken collection like Street Fighter? It would be an interesting premise. They'd probably make good money on it. The thing about it is they would have to try to make multiplayer, right? Online, which is weird because they've never had online multiplayer for the classic Tekkens ever. They only had it for the modern ones, so. But I'm sure it could be done. If they can do it with Street Fighter, they can do it with Tekken. What was the biggest flop of a game so far this year? I would have to look at all the games I played, like my playlist listing. I don't know. Let me look. I'll look very quickly. He asked me these questions about like countdowns and favorites and things like. Let's see. Oh, let's see. The Quarry was disappointing, but wasn't terrible. I'm trying to think of a game that like just really did not live up to any kind of expectations. Okay, I would say, from what I'm seeing here, what am I looking at? Oh, there it is. I would say the 2 games that stand out for me would be Dying Light 2, because the game just really felt like more of the same. It didn't seem to really separate itself that much from the first game. And in a lot of cases, I felt like the intro to Dying Light 2 was far worse than the intro to Dying Light 1. Dying Light 1 kind of threw you right into the fray. This one was like a slow build, a little bit of action, slow build. It takes 15 hours to even get to the main portion of the game where you're doing the abilities that are fun, like gliding around. And also, it was so underwhelming that when it came out, I tried to play through it, and it was hard to retain interest in it. And then when other games started coming out, I just didn't care about it ever again, and never went back. And I owned the game, and I played it for, 15 hours, then I dropped it. And I rarely do that. So I would only say Dying Light 2, and I would also say King of Fighters 15. Here's a game that looks great, plays great, until you realize the meta is terrible. Almost every character has a combo where they can hit you with multiple super moves, take insane amounts of your health. The entire game is based on rushing down so you get one single hit, and then turning that into a giant, ridiculously unfair, overpowered garbage combo. And because that's the nature of the game, good luck playing it online. Because all people do is fish for one hit. Oh, I got the one hit. Game over. How is that fun? That's not even fun for any kind of a competitive game, let alone a fighter. Imagine a shooting game, all right? First-person shooter. The moment someone gets the drop on you and shoots you once, that's it. The game's over. You lost that whole round. What? No, the whole point is that yeah, they can get the drop on you, but now you have a chance to hit. Nope. King of Fighters, they hit you once, your whole energy bar is gone. The round is over. Oh, that's fun. No, it's not. Fishing for one hit is not fun in a fighting game. So I would say those 2 are the most disappointing for me this year. There you go. What's my favorite Rocky movie? Oh, Hearts on Fire, Strong Desire. That's all I'm going to say. There you go. Rages Deep Within. I don't know if I'm playing Bayonetta 3. I told you guys, I'm not really interested in it. It's been so long since Bayonetta 2. I don't even remember Bayonetta 2 or even liking it. I like other games better, like Devil May Cry, which, of course, yes, I know that they're essentially the same style of game. It's just better at it, you know? It's going to be the same shit again. It is. It's going to be the same shit. Another forgettable game, just like Bayonetta 2 was. It's a shame, but that's the history of this franchise is kind of a waste of time. And essentially, there's also a ton of other games coming out that time, too. Yeah. So, I'd probably like to focus on those. No, I don't really watch cartoons anymore. At one point, I was watching, like Archer and stuff like that. I haven't seen it in a million years. I don't really watch cartoons anymore. I don't have a kitty hat for Stray. I don't have any new hats for Stray or anything. I can see that. Expand Dong says, in regards to having a competitive subscription service on Nintendo, just like PlayStation and Xbox has, imagine if you were a subscriber of Nintendo Online Premium, which is their higher service, and you got free access to Bayonetta 3. That would be competitive then. I see what you're saying. That would be competitive because then, you know, hey, if it's part of the service, why not just get it, right? But they're not doing anything like that. Do I have more energy since excuse me. Do I have more energy since I started jogging? Here's what I've noticed since I started jogging, okay? I am not feeling as sluggish. I am not feeling as tired. My legs aren't really sore. I can physically do things and move around a lot more easily now. It used to be like the one day a week when I had off, oh man, I got to go out and do all these errands, and I'd go out there and my joints would feel achy and creaking and cracking of the bones. And now I walk every other day. I feel good. It makes me feel good when I do it, actually. It does. To get that burn, to get the sweat, to get the blood flowing, to get your legs moving and the muscles going in the legs. It's good. I know for a fact this is helping me because I was at points feeling very sick and not feeling very good. Just kind of sitting around doing this all day, every day. And now having that little bit of physical activity has helped tremendously. Have I seen the Street Fighter movie? You mean the live action one? Yes, of course. I've talked about it ridiculous amounts of times in my content. Matthew, here's the thing. He says, what's your favorite memory with John Rambo? Honestly, for you guys, the best memories of John Rambo were always the on-camera things. But for me, it was just hanging out with the guy behind the scenes, having fun wherever we were. The thing about John was that we did so much over the years together. We did Street Fighter tournaments. You know, the camaraderie there of traveling with each other, looking out for each other, practicing with each other, standing there and rooting for each other during matches or whatever, being the moral support, and helping each other out. You know, one person would drive, one person would, you know, arrange the hotel, blah, blah, blah. That was fun. And then, you know, when I became a YouTuber, implementing his hilarious humor, his commentary style, and being able to basically make him a part of this phenomenon that I was a part of. As soon as I started getting popular on YouTube, I was like, man, I want to find a way to get John in on this because I know he would love this kind of stuff. It's silly fun, and we could have a ton of fun and maybe make money on this. And I think that he would love this, you know, because I've been a friend of his for so many years. I don't have a particular playthrough, a particular moment. Nothing like that stands out for me because this was like a friendship that lasted a long time. This was like anywhere from like the mid-2000s, 2006, right? All the way through the time that I moved. So like 8 years of my life, I was friends with this guy, you know? So there is there's one definitive moment that stands out in time or history for me spending with John Rambo. You know, there just isn't. Do I regret not going to Japan with John Rambo? No, if I went to Japan with John Rambo, I wouldn't have been able to play in the tournament. I didn't qualify. He beat me. So I mean, there would have been no point. I would have been paying all this money and everything going and having no tournament to play in. So why would I have gone? Have I seen Monty Python's Search for the Holy Grail? Yes, it's a funny movie. Okay. Yeah, it would be nice to go to Japan one day. I don't know, man. I don't know the way things are going. I really don't know. Last couple questions, guys, then we'll wrap it up. So last chance to ask anything, and if you were thinking of contributing last minute, now would be your chance as well. Thank you guys who did support and chill with me tonight. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see here. Yes, if you have PF Plus Deluxe, I believe you do get Stray. Yes, Mark, I think so. Don't quote me on that, but I think you do. I know you do get it for Premium, but I think you get it for Deluxe as well. Yes, eventually I will replay Fallout 3 and 4. Fandy Andy, yes. Where do I see my streams in 10 years going? More variety, less gameplay. In 10 years, you know, I'm going to be 50 years old. Do you really think I'm going to be able to play as many games and play them at any kind of a capacity that would be entertaining to watch? Some games, yes. I doubt I'll be able to play all games at any kind of that level. As I get older, naturally, I'm going to have issues with hand-eye coordination, with joints, you know. So, likely, I'll still be streaming. I would like to say, hey, I would like to be streaming less so I have more time with my family. I don't know if that'll be viable. But I would like to have diversified my stuff to a point where maybe there's some days a week I'm doing gameplay. Maybe other days I'm doing different style of projects. Or maybe half a day is gaming and then there's more different stuff. I just don't think I could do gaming nonstop forever, you know. Okay. All right. I guess let's wrap it up, everyone. I'd like to say thank you all for chilling. I know this was an impromptu hour of just random Q&A, you know, no real topic to follow or whatever. I had fun. Thank you again to those who supported. And I hope that you enjoyed the randomness of it. I mean, there's a million questions, but I can only answer so many. And thank you. That's it. All right, wrap it up.